Welcome to our EZVideo tutorial today. My name is Connor, and I just want to give a quick shout out and say thank you to CanBC TV Channel 5, who's filming for us today. This video will be available to watch fairly soon, so if you'd like to come back and watch it again and learn some more stuff, you're welcome to do that. So the goal for today's tutorial is to get y'all a little more familiar with the EZVideo TV product, show you some of the main features, and talk about how it's different from traditional TV. And then at the end, we'll have kind of a question and answer portion where you're more than welcome to ask questions to me or Michelle, and we'll make sure to get any and all of your questions answered. So I think I want to go through my kind of presentation and show you guys what all it can do. And then after that, we'll do a question and answer portion of the tutorial. So today we are using EZVideo on an Amazon Fire TV stick. Some of you that already have the service are probably using an Amazon Fire TV stick already. And I want to point out in the packets in front of you, there's actually a one sheet, a single 8.5 by 11 sheet that shows the remote that I'm using. So if you'd like to follow along with the buttons that I'm pressing, you can do that if you would like. And as I'm moving around throughout the interface, I'm going to be calling out the different buttons that I'm pushing and the actions that I'm taking so that you know exactly what I'm doing. So to start, EZVideo, for those that don't know, is television service. We have moved away from traditional cable TV to an app-based service. We are using, again, an Amazon Fire TV device, which is sort of like an iPhone, a smartphone. It has a bunch of different apps on it, like anybody that uses Netflix or Hulu, those type of services. Your local TV channels operate the same way now. It operates as an app just like those other ones I mentioned, but you still get your live local channels, KGW, Coin, Fox, those channels, all that good stuff. Plus your national networks and things like that. And if you have any questions about channels and what's available, the middle spread of that packet in front of you has all of the channels listed and which tier they're in as well. And I can answer more questions about channels and features and things like that after the end as well. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of navigate some of the main features. And first up, we'll just talk about the guide. And how I get there is I open up what's called the main menu of EZVideo. To do that, I press this button on the right side of the remote with the 3 bars on it. I like to call it the hamburger button. So when I press that, this menu will pop up right here where I have some couple different options to go to. First up, right here, you can see that as I'm moving around, and how I'm doing that is I'm just pressing left and right on the circle directional pad up at the top of the remote. But my red cursor shows where I'm at and what is available to select when it's highlighted in red. And to select something, I press the center of that circle to make a selection. That's the select button as noted on that piece of paper. So this is the TV guide inside of EZVideo. If you've ever had TV service before, you're familiar with something like this. And I'm going to use my laser pointer. Up at the top here, we've got the times of programming moving forward from left to right. And then on the left side, I've got my different channels moving in descending order with the logos next to them. The guide itself holds 7 days of programming, so I can go forward into the future a week to record something if I would like. And it's the same thing with my red cursor, wherever I'm at inside the app. I like to think of this as my mouse cursor. It'll be in red, so you can see it pretty well. And again, all I'm doing to move around is just pressing up and down and left and right on that circle directional pad. And you can see up top right now, I'm on now. This is live TV, what's currently playing. And I've got the time up here at the top right of the screen as well, so I can know what time it is. If I were to move forward, once I get to the next day, for example, it says tomorrow, but if I were to get past that, it'll tell me it's Saturday now, so I know what day I'm on as I'm scrolling throughout the guide. And let's say I want to pick something to add to my DVR. And the DVR with EZVideo is really advanced because, number one, you can record as many shows or movies at one single time as you would like, as long as you have room in your storage, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. And you can also keep your recordings as long as you would like. Some other providers, they might delete your recordings after 30 or 90 days, something like that. But with EZVideo, you can keep them as long as you would like. So let's just say I want to record this program right here. I'm going to press my select button. It'll bring up this little menu with a couple options. First thing I'll notice is my title of the show is right here, tells me what time it's on, and then just a little description of what the program is right there. And right below it, the big red button is record. And if I were to select that with the center button of the remote, it's going to give me a couple options of what I can do with this program, since it's part of a series of multiple episodes that come out over time. I can choose to record just this one episode of the series, or I can record the entire series and tell it to record all of them as they come up in the future. And I think for this example, I'm going to record all episodes to show you what this looks like. So it's going to ask me to confirm just a couple options. Number one is, do I want just the new episodes of this show, or do I want the new ones and the reruns? And how I'm changing that is just pressing the select button to change it. I think I just want the new ones, because a lot of shows, they come out once a week or every day, and they'll air reruns throughout. I did this one time with SportsCenter, and I told it to record new and reruns, and there was like 1,000 episodes in the DVR. So the next one is which channel I would like this to record on. Some shows will air on multiple channels. For example, if I were to record NBA basketball games, they air on ESPN, NBC Sports Northwest, different channels. But maybe I only want it to record on one channel. On this one, I decided I only want ESPN2, so I can just go and highlight whichever one I would like, press select, and that check mark will go away. This is just good for, for example, if I just want Oregon Ducks basketball games, and I'm recording college basketball, I might just tell it to record on channel Pac-12, as an example. And once I'm done, I'll go down here and click OK, and that sets the option that I just told it. And then this is perhaps most important for sports fans, I would say. It's adding extra time onto the end of a recording in case the game goes to extra innings or overtime, something like that. I can add 5, 10, 30, or 60 minutes onto the end of a recording just to make sure I catch the action if something goes into overtime. Once I'm done with these options, I'll click OK, and I'll get a little confirmation message down here that tells me, great, your series for this show has been recorded with the options that you just set. And I can see in the guide as well, there's a little red dot next to it, so I know that it's going to record. So that's just a quick lesson on how to record something from the guide. And now we're going to go back to live TV. And all I did was hold down the button to the left to get back to on now, because the guide moves from left to right into the future and right to left into the past. So let's just pick something to watch right now. If I click again my select button on something, since this is on now, it's actually going to give me a little preview right here of what's currently playing. And then the same thing here on the left, the title of the show, some information about it, and a new button pops up. I can press play since this is a live show airing right now. And if I were to select that, it just brings up this show into full screen, and now I'm just watching TV. But of course, there's a couple things I can do and adjust while I'm watching a program. So if I press the select button again, it'll open up this little menu right here, where I can do a couple different things. Number one is I can pause live TV for up to 30 minutes before it'll resume playing again. So I can press pause from this menu, or I can press the play pause button in the middle center of the remote itself. It's got the little arrow with the pause button next to it. Right here, it looks like this button pops up, it says go live. So we're actually watching it a couple minutes behind. It's kind of tough to see, but this timeline up here shows me where I'm at in the program. So this is an hour and 30-minute program, and I'm at the 1 hour and 4 minute mark right here. But I know it's tough to see, but there's a little red part of the line right here that shows me I'm actually a little bit behind. So I can catch up to live TV. And that's due to EZVideo's restart function. If I miss a certain part of the show, say I missed the first 10 minutes, I can actually restart it from the beginning if I happen to miss some. So that's what I just did right there. And if I press go live on that menu, I'm now back to live TV. So just as an example, I know some people who will actually wait 10 or 15 minutes to start one of their shows just so they can kind of fast forward through the commercials as they go. Just a nice little tip. I can also add this to my DVR from right here. And if I were to do this, it'll just record from where I pressed record at. So it'll only record this much. Restart again is what I just mentioned. If I press restart, it just starts my show over from the beginning. And then I can press go live to go back to live TV. If I press information, this will actually bring up the series info page for this show. So this is SportsCenter, and it's just giving me different listings of where this show appears on EZVideo. So as an example, these are full episodes right here that are ready to watch. These are upcoming episodes. And then below are recommendations based on this type of show that you might like to watch. And then a good time to highlight another button on the remote. On the left side, there's this little U-turn arrow-shaped button. That's my kind of go back button and takes me back to the screen that I was just on. So if I click that right now, it takes me back to my show and my menu that I was on. And the last thing from this little menu is over here on the right, it says audio/subtitles. If I were to press select on that, I can turn closed captions on or off, denoted by the check mark right here. So that's how I would do closed captions. And those are all of the actions that I can take when I'm inside of a show right here. And I want to show you the DVR interface, how you can watch shows that you've recorded, because I think it's really great. So again, we're going to open up that main menu by pressing the hamburger button, or the button with the 3 bars, excuse me, on the right side of the remote. And my DVR lives where this little head icon is. And yours might look a little different than this. This is my custom profile avatar, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. But I just like to highlight that yours might look different than that. So when I press select on that button, it brings me into the DVR recording interface. And it breaks it out into 2 sections. Where my red highlighter is, I'm on recorded. So this is shows and movies that have already been recorded and are ready to watch. And then if I scroll to the right over to scheduled, it shows me what I've got set to record coming up in the future. Up at the top right of the screen, I can see how much storage space I have in my DVR. And I want to note that each EZVideo account comes with 25 hours of free storage. This is a test account that we have, so we've enabled a little more to do different testing and things like that. But you can upgrade to 100, 150, or 200 hours for an extra couple dollars per month if you find that you're recording a lot of different shows and things like that. Back to recorded. Once I'm in one of these sections, I've got 2 rows. One of them is TV shows up top, and below are movies. So it breaks out into sections like that. And it goes from left to right, newest to oldest recordings. And I like to highlight that because since you can keep your recordings as long as you would like, it's not going to automatically delete anything for you. If, for example, I was at 99 or 100 hours and I told it to record something new, a message will pop up on the screen. It'll say you only have 10 minutes of recording time left. If you confirm this recording, we're going to delete the oldest thing in your DVR to make room for it. So just as an example, this is the oldest movie I have. If I were to set a new movie to record that would put me over my storage limit and I clicked confirm, it would delete this to make room for it. But if this is something you'd like to keep indefinitely, I would recommend making room in your storage elsewhere in the DVR so that you can record your new thing without deleting something you'd like to keep. So let's pick something and press play. So here's Survivor. It looks like we've got, up here at the top left, 2 episodes, and they're taking up 3.5 hours of my storage. Other buttons up here at top, I can press recording options, and these are the options that we talked about a little earlier, so I can adjust those. Again, to go back a previous screen, press that little U-turn arrow button. Takes me right back to where I was. It looks like we've got this series set to record, but if I'd like to stop recording the series, I can press the cancel series recording button. And I can delete all recordings if I'm finished watching them. But if I scroll down, I can see that these are the individual episodes that I've recorded. Tells me the title of it right here, when it was recorded, and I can play it. I can look at a little bit of information about this episode, or I can delete individual episodes at a time. So if I press play on this one, it'll just bring it up full screen like we looked at earlier, and now I'm watching a recording. And of course, the main benefit of doing so is that I can fast forward through the commercials. So there's 2 ways of doing that. At the bottom of the remote, I've got left-facing arrows, play, pause, and then right-facing arrows. So that's rewind, and then to the right is fast forward. So I can click that button, and the timeline of the show that we talked about will pop up right here. And it shows me where I'm at as I'm fast forwarding with this little box right here. So once I'm at the point where I'd like to start playing my show, I can just press the play pause button, and it'll take me right to that point. I can also use the circle directional pad if I would like. I just press left to rewind, and right to fast forward. It's just whichever you prefer. Personally, I prefer the buttons a little better, just because I kind of hold the remote down here and my thumb doesn't quite reach that way. I know it's lazy, but that's just kind of how I prefer it. If I hold the button down, you can see that it moves quite a bit faster. Or I can tap it and it moves in 12-second increments. You can see right here I'm watching my show. Here's my commercial. Da-da-da. And a nice little hint that I like to use sometimes when it pops up is sometimes the rating for the show, like this one's PG, will pop up in the top left corner of the screen, so I can kind of tell when that commercial's ending. But you can sort of see, okay, here's a commercial about USAA, and all right, this is Survivor now. So I press play and I'm back on my show. So you'll kind of get used to where you're stopping your fast forwarding as you play with it a little bit. And then the same things here, I can turn on audio and closed captions again, and basically the only main difference is that I can now fast forward and rewind through the commercials. So that's how I watch a recorded show in my DVR. And let's say I'm finished with that episode, and I'll highlight how to get there again just for reference. So button with the 3 bars, it's this little head icon right here. Inside my DVR, I was watching Survivor. I was watching this episode, and let's say I'm done with it, I can press delete. And you do have to confirm that you want to delete it just so you don't accidentally delete something. And if I press yes, it'll delete it, and you can see that it automatically made room in my DVR for more stuff. So that room is reflected right away. A couple other things to note inside of this area. There's a little gear icon up here. Those are some settings that I can adjust inside EZVideo. First thing you'll notice is that we have 5 profiles associated with our account. I sort of mentioned this earlier. And each EZVideo account has the ability to have 5 profiles. And I'll show you in just a minute why these are a good idea to use. So if I go into here, and let's say we're currently watching TV on the dad account, but if I wanted to switch to the mom account, I would go over here and press select, and then it'll change which account is watching it. And again, I'll show you why that's a good idea to do here in a minute. I can adjust parental controls. So if I were to press select on restrict mature content, I'll create a 4-digit PIN that will need to be entered on the screen in order to play content that's rated TVMA, R, or NC-17. So that's how I do parental controls, if you would like. Again, U-shaped arrow button to go backwards. Back to my previous screen. I can manage these profiles right here. We've reached the profile limit, but if I only had less than 5, there's be a big plus button right here. And let's say I want to edit one of these profiles. Or I can remove them right here for some reason. But if I press edit, I can change the name. A little keypad will pop up where I can type in the name of that profile. And then I can change the image too. And there's a bunch of fun ones in here like Captain America and Hulk and Spider-Man and Darth Vader, all that good stuff. So again, back arrow button to get back on the previous screen. So those are the only settings that you can adjust inside of the app. But if, let's say, you wanted to add DVR storage to your account, that's something where you would give us a call on the phone and we would make that change for you. Again, U-turn arrow button to get back to my previous screen. And that's all I can do inside of this interface right here. I can view shows that I've recorded, delete them, look at what I've got scheduled to come up, and then adjust my settings up here. So the profiles of why I might want to use one is good for what's called our recently watched section. And that's how I can flip back and forth between different channels quicker. So again, from the menu, button with the 3 bars, and if I scroll down, these are my 15 most recently watched channels right here, and these will be different depending on which profile you're watching EZVideo on. So this will change depending on what you've been watching lately, and it goes from left to right, most recently watched, to least most recently watched, I suppose. But it'll tell me below this, I know it's tough to see on the projector screen, but this says live, more Good Day Oregon. So this is a live show that's playing right now. This is SportsCenter playing right now. This is a recorded show, so it holds live shows, recorded shows, and replay TV, which we'll talk about here in a moment as well. But say I wanted to switch really quick to K2, I highlight over it, press select, and it changes me to that channel. So rather than going into the guide and then scrolling to a different channel that I would like, I can just press my menu button, scroll down, and then move over to a different channel. So A lot of people actually use that as sort of a favorites section. They've got 10 or 15 different channels they like to watch, so they'll switch back and forth between them right here. It's just a nice little shortcut I like to include in here. And again, whichever profile you're watching under, these will be customized based on what that profile has been watching lately. So that's why I like to recommend using the profiles in EZVideo. From the guide, we'll talk about replay TV, which I just mentioned. So the guide moves from left to right into the future, but it also moves right to left into the past. EZVideo has the capability to let you watch programming for up to 75 hours after it aired live. It's separate from your DVR, so you almost don't even need to record some stuff if you don't want to. Let's say I forgot to record something or I missed it when it was on live. I can go into Replay TV and watch it for up to 75 hours after it's finished airing. There's this little arrow button on the left side of the guide, and if I move left on my directional pad, I'll get this little sidebar menu. And the top option is Replay. So if I were to click Replay, it'll take me into this menu right here, which is basically the guide. It's just tile-based instead of text-based like the guide was. But my channels are still here. Here's channel 24, 25, 26, so on and so forth. And now it shows me right here which show this is. This is college basketball. That's ESPN Classic, so I'll use, maybe here's a better example. Here's ESPN. This is what aired from 7 to 9, so it's right up to date. As soon as a show is finished airing live, it goes immediately into replay, and it's then available for that 75-hour time frame. So here's 7 to 9, here's 5 to 7, 4 to 5, so on and so forth. So as an example, let's go back to last night, and maybe this game from 6 to 8, I missed it, I forgot to record it, but it's right here in replay, so I can select it, press play, and now it essentially acts just like a recorded program. I can fast forward through the commercials and do all the same stuff that I did as if it was a recorded program. So again, Replay TV, just another option, another feature available in case you forgot to record something, forgot to watch it live. Replay TV is there for you. And I'll just show one more time how to get there. Press the button with the 3 bars, go to guide, and then move left over to replay right here. And of course, there is one more thing available in this sidebar menu below it. It's called filter, and I'm basically going to filter the guide based on one of these 4 selections. At this moment, we only have 4 genres: sports, news, movies, and kids. So let's choose movies as an example. And what it's going to do is filter the guide and show me all the movies playing on the channels that I've got at different time frames. So here's 10:30 a.m., here's 11, 11:30, so on and so forth as I scroll down. So maybe we want to have a family movie night at 6 o'clock tonight. Just as an example, I'll scroll down here to 6. And now here's all of the movies that are coming up on EZVideo at 6 o'clock. So let's say that I want to select this one, and I can add it to my DVR right here and tell it to record from this menu. So again, it's just the filter function is a way to just show you specific content in the guide as opposed to scrolling through and trying to find movies. You can just show it to show you just movies. So the filter function is nice as well. There's 3 more sections to show you, excuse me. And from the menu, again, the button with the 3 bars, over here on the right is a magnifying glass. That is the search function. So I can actually search for content specifically too, again, as opposed to scrolling through the guide trying to find it. And an example I like to use is Trailblazers. I'd like to see when the Blazers are coming up next, who they're playing, what channel, and what time. So all I'm doing to type in my letters is just moving up, down, left, and right on the circle, and then pressing the select button once I'm over the letter that I would like. And then when I'm done, I'll scroll down here to the next button and press select. And this is essentially like Googling something. I've just Googled Blazers, and now it's showing me all of the content in EZVideo associated with that search key. And it breaks it into a couple different areas. So here's TV shows. The Blazers have a ton of different TV shows. They've got their pregame show, postgame, they're all kinds of stuff. If I scroll down, these are individual episodes of those shows. Shows me when these are on. And this is what I was looking for, upcoming episodes. So it goes from left to right, furthest away to closest to me. So this is February 24th. That's, oh gosh, Monday? That's Monday, yes. So if I go over here to the right, they're playing the Pelicans tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. And if I were to select this, this is playing on NBC Sports Northwest. The reason that the new button appears on all three of these is because the game's actually airing on 3 different channels all at the same time. So this one is channel 33, this one is ESPN, and this one is in Spanish. So that's the reason that the new button appears in 3 different areas. But you can see that the new button will pop up, so I know that when that's a new one versus a rerun. So this is the one that airs at 6, and this is the rerun that airs at 1 in the morning. So that's why the new button is there. And that's a recent feature, actually. We had some members request that we add a button that tells you when the new one is on, so we added it right here. So again, if I found something that I'd like to record, this is the Pistons game on Sunday, I believe. So if I select it, I can hit record down here. And I think I just want this Blazers game. I don't want every single NBA basketball game. So I'm just going to hit record this episode only. And now I've got my recording set to record the Blazers game on Sunday. So that is how I use the search function inside of EZVideo. And I think I'm going to do a kind of more broad term as well, because Blazers was pretty specific. So let's search for something like Friends, for example, just to kind of show you what it'll look like if I do a more broad search term. So yeah, just as I thought, there's a ton of different TV shows and episodes and things like that with the search key Friends in them. This is the one I was looking for, but as you can see, there's a ton of different results. So that's why I like to use specific search keys if I've got a movie that I want to see if maybe it's coming up at some point. I've actually been using the example of Spider-Man lately, just because I watched the most recent Spider-Man movie recently. Better than I thought it was going to be, actually. So yeah. So Spider-Man, there is Spider-Man stuff coming up. TV shows, and here's the new movie, Spider-Man Far From Home, and it's airing multiple times. Here's the 22nd, the 23rd, 26th, so on and so forth. So again, it's just a nice way, if you've got a movie in mind or a TV show you're looking for, you can search for it and see exactly when it's coming up and set it to your DVR. Again, to get out of the screen that I was on, I'm pressing the U-turn arrow button to take me back to the previous section. And 2 more sections, pressing the main menu button with the 3 bars, are right here, shows and movies. So these are kind of it's just taking all of the movies across the different sections of EZVideo, putting them all into one spot. So this menu, you can see first, it shows me what I've got recorded. It's got some recommendations of movies on live right now to record. It's got action, comedy, drama, kids and family, so on and so forth. But this it's bringing all the movies together, whether they're live, they're upcoming, they're replay, or they're on demand. It's just got them all in one menu right here. So some people like this section. It's more of a Netflix, Hulu type experience with the tile-based formatting. But you can see that if it's upcoming, it's got the little box up there. Some of them have new, but if it doesn't say anything, like Beetlejuice, for example, right here, this is what's called on demand. It's just available to watch, ready to go. So if I were to hit play, I could just start watching this movie. It's not part of my DVR, it's not taking up any of my storage, it's just ready to watch right there. But of course, this one, Dog's Way Home, it says upcoming, so if I select this, okay, it's going to air today at 11:37. So I could press record and add it to my DVR. So again, this is just it's a bunch of different movies from throughout the app, whether they are movies that I have recorded, which are right here. These are in my DVR. These are live movies on right now. And then there's stuff that's on demand and coming up in the future. So some people like this sort of viewing experience, and some people just like using the guide, recording stuff, and watching it later. It's up to you, and there's different options available to do it. Excuse me. The last section is shows. It's the same exact thing as the menu we just went over, except it's TV shows. So again, here's the TV shows I've got recorded. Here's some news shows on right now, sports shows on right now, action, comedy, drama, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same type of thing. It's got stuff that's coming up, stuff that's on demand, and the shows that I have recorded in my DVR. So again, if you like that sort of experience with the tile-based formatting as opposed to the text-based formatting of the guide, you're more than welcome to use EZVideo that way. Those are the main features of EZVideo and basically everything that I can do inside of the app. I do want to note that we have a 24/7 tech support team, a phone number that you can call if you have any questions. They'd be more than happy to answer them as you're watching EZVideo and help you troubleshoot to figure out any issues you might be having, or if you've just got questions about how it works. Give us a call. They're local. Our tech support team is really great. They know a lot more than I do about some technical type things. We do have, for every member that signs up, we include a printed packet of information that includes a 26-page user guide. It details step by step how to do everything that I just talked about. We've got a support website that's listed in that booklet, so you can go online and look at support options. And we're offering these tutorials once a month and then 3 days. So we'll be here again today at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. if anybody would like to come back. So we do in-person tutorials, and CTV5 has been kind enough to record this video so you can go back and watch it. So hopefully you've got some support options if you run into any issues or you can't quite figure out what to do, you can find something to help you out with that. So at this point, I think I'm going to open it up to questions if anybody has it. I will say if you have a question that's specific to your account, your internet speed, your bill, something like that, come find me afterwards, after the class is adjourned, and I'll do my best to help you out with that. If you have any questions specific to the service, how it works, anything we've talked about, I would be more than happy to take those right now. Yes?
I was reading in the back that you can use a smartphone or a tablet in place of a Fire
Yes.
Stick. How does that work?
Yeah, so the question was, I can use a smartphone or a tablet or another device in place of the Fire Stick to watch TV. And yeah, it's on, I believe that's page 6. It's the second to last page of the booklet. It shows all the different devices that are available to watch with EZVideo. So EZVideo is what's considered a bring your own device option. Pretty much gone are the days of an internet or a TV provider renting out a box to you, one of those bulky set-top boxes that goes into your home. Essentially what people are doing now is bringing their own device, whether it's a Fire Stick or an Apple TV, a smartphone, and they're watching TV on their device of choosing. Some people like to watch it on their laptop, some people like to watch it on their smartphone, and some like to watch it just like traditional TV. You've got your device plugged into your TV in the living room and you're all set. But there's options. For example, if you've got your library of recordings that you've set to record, say you're going on vacation or you're at the waiting room in the doctor's office, something like that. You could take your phone with you, connect to Wi-Fi, or use your mobile data plan if you have AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, something like that, and you can watch your recordings right there on your phone. They go with you. Same thing if you have a tablet. The only thing you can't do is watch live TV when you're outside of your home. But there is a little trick to this. You can set something to record from your phone or from a computer or a tablet, and then after it's been recording for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, you can go in and start watching it. So just as an example, I were to go over to a friend's house and the basketball game's coming up. We're outside of my home, so we can't watch it live, but I could pull it up on a computer or something, one of the supported devices, set it to record, and we can watch it after 5 minutes it's been recording. So I'm not really watching it live, I'm just 5 minutes behind. But yes, with a smartphone or a tablet, all I would do is I would download the EZVideo app and then sign in with my login credentials that I created, and you'd have access to your recordings and be able to record new stuff.
So it's not using the phone to transfer the data to the TV?
Good question. I'm not using my phone to transfer data to the television, and the answer is no. You're using that device to actually watch programming.
Okay.
Yes. Good question. Anybody else? Yes.
Supported devices, you have more Amazon, what about Roku?
Sure. The question was, is Roku a supported device? And the answer is yes, it is. It actually operates on a private channel, and I can give you some details about how to do that after the class. But yes, Roku is supported. Yes. I think I saw another. Yes, sir.
On your channel guide, I see that stars is not listed.
So there's actually, on the next page, if you flip it, it lists some of the premium networks that we have available. We do have Stars, HBO, Showtime, NFL Network, the Latino package as well. So we do have Stars, but that's one of kind of the premium networks that has an extra charge on top of it per month, just like with any other TV provider. So we do have stars, yes. Sure. Yeah, so the question was, can you kind of explain what the choices are with the Fire Stick and the different devices and things like that? So I'm gonna again refer to the supported devices page on page 6. So right now we are using the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. The 4K means that it supports Ultra HD footage. It's super high definition, basically video. There's a couple different options in the Fire TV family. This device is made by Amazon. I'm sure everybody knows what Amazon is, a multi-billion-dollar tech company for the most part. And there's a couple different ones I can use. So this one is the 4K stick. There is a non-4K stick. It's essentially the same. It just doesn't display 4K video. There is a Fire TV Cube, which is more for people who like to use Alexa to give it commands and tell her what to do, open up apps and give you the weather and things like that. There's the Apple TV, which is, these all essentially do the same thing. They're just made by different manufacturers, and it's sort of your preference. I will say the device we're using right now is used by about 90% of people who have EZVideo. So the overwhelming majority of our members are using this device. And I would say it's because it's generally the cheapest. MSRP, the 4K is, I think, $50. They go on sale multiple times per year. I just saw them 2 weeks ago on sale for like 35 bucks. And on Black Friday, I think they were half off. So they're a very affordable option, and they work the best. I think they have the best processing power, so they move around quickly, they don't lag, things like that. And I think the remote is actually easiest to use. The Apple TV has this little pad that you swipe your fingers on to move around, and I think it's quite difficult to use personally. But some people really like their Apple products, so they'll choose that one. Well, this is the one that most people are using to watch the service. It comes in a little orange box, and everything you need comes with it. It comes with the remote. There's a little piece that plugs into the television, and I will say that we're actually recording a couple of videos right now with instructions for how to hook everything up, step-by-step instructions, so keep an eye out for that. So everything you need comes in the box. You plug in a little stick into the TV, a cord into the wall for power, and that's really all you need. You've got your little remote right here, which we've talked about. I hope that answers the question. Yeah, the question was, can I move it from TV to TV? And you can. I would recommend getting one per television. That way you don't have to move it around. Yes. I think we had 2 questions right here. Read right here first. HDMI is the input, correct. Most televisions, if it's within the last 20 years old or so, you'll have at least 2 or 3 inputs on the back of your television. I think you had a question, sir? Yeah, the question is, do I need a DVR box anymore with this? Is that correct? The question is no, because it's actually built into the service itself. On several other TV services, if you wanted to record programs, you would have to get a whole separate box and then plug that in and hook that up to record programming, and they were stored on that box. But with this, it's just built in right here into the interface. These are my DVR shows. And the nice thing about this is you can take them with you on different devices if you would like. Some people don't like that. They just watch TV at home. But some people, they take it on the go. They go on vacation, they leave the house, they'll watch their shows on their phone or at work or something like that. But again, DVR is built into the interface. You keep your shows as long as you want, record as much stuff at one time as you would like. And yeah, hope that answers the question. Yes?
Will it work with the smart TV without the internet?
Good question. The question was, will it work on a smart TV without a Fire Stick hooked into it? And our official response is, it depends. So I know it's silly, but there's so many different brands of smart TVs out there. And just for reference, for anybody who isn't familiar with a smart TV, essentially a smart TV has the software that we're using built into the television, so I don't have to plug a device into the back of my TV. But since there are so many different brands, there's Samsung and Sharp and Sony and all these different brands, some of them have what's called an app store, so I can download the EZVideo app. And I'll go over this here in just a minute because this is a really good question. But if your television has an app store and you can search for stuff like Netflix, Hulu, EZVideo, that sort of thing, and you can download it, then your smart TV will work. If you have a question about your particular TV, you can come ask me afterwards and I'll do my best to answer it. But I'll just give you an example. I think so Amazon actually makes a television with what we're using right now built into the TV. So you don't need a stick to plug it in. I will say that the stick has better processing power than the television. The TV itself lags quite a bit. It needs to be reset every now and then. So I'm still going to recommend the Fire TV stick as the best device. But Samsung TVs, I think, for example, they have an app store where I can search for stuff. So just to give you an example, I'm going to search for Netflix. So just like I would download an app on an iPhone or a smartphone, if I press Netflix and I download it, I can have access to their content, of course, if I subscribe to the service. But some smart TVs, you can't. They'll just come with Netflix and Hulu and Prime built into the TV, and that's all you get. You can't put new stuff on your TV. So that's why not every single smart TV will work. I know that's kind of a complicated answer, but if you have more questions about using a smart TV, come find me after the class and I'll try to answer it more thoroughly. And this brings up kind of a good point. I think I'll highlight how to actually download the app. And again, what we're going to do right now is supported when you first sign up. We give you step-by-step instructions how to do all this stuff. Plus, I'm going to make a video how to do this step-by-step as well. So after I'm done setting up my device, once I plug it into the TV and I turn the TV on, it's going to walk me through the setup. It's going to ask me to choose my language. It's going to ask me to connect to my home Wi-Fi network. And then once I'm done, it'll bring me to this home screen right here. Up at the very top, on the Fire TV device itself, the cursor is in yellow. I know it's tough to see on the projector screen, but I'm moving around just the same way I did inside EZVideo. I'm pressing up and down and left and right on the circle pad. But this device lets me watch different types of programs and apps and services all on one interface. So does anybody here have Netflix at home? They watch Netflix service, a couple people. So you can watch Netflix and your live local TV channels on the same device. You're not going to have 10 remotes hanging around the TV anymore. You've got one remote for the most part. Unless, of course, you've got a DVD player. You would then switch the input on your TV from HDMI to your TV box, just like you've done in the past if you have that. So I can watch Netflix, Prime Video. There's thousands and thousands of these. Me personally, I watch Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, and EZVideo. That's it. But there's tons and tons of options, as you can see. I know it can be a little overwhelming, but just remember a couple things. EZVideo, the red one with the white letters, that's your TV service. That's how you get to what we were just watching. But what I was talking about is putting the service onto the device itself, because unfortunately we are not a multi-billion-dollar international company like Netflix, and we don't have the influence over Amazon to put our service on their device when it gets installed. Yeah, we'll say that. Maybe someday we will. So the red app that's EZVideo will not be there when you first plug it in. You've got to put it on there yourself. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do right now. So there's a little house-shaped button on my remote right in the middle of it. If I press that button, it'll take me right here. And the yellow home button will automatically be highlighted at the top of my screen. If I move to the left to that little magnifying glass, a keypad will pop up where I can type in search keys. I just typed in Netflix. I'm going to do the same thing for EZVideo. And enough people have actually downloaded the app now where I can just type in EZV, 3 letters, and it'll pop up right there. So I scroll down, and here it is. This is the EZVideo app in the Amazon App Store. And if I were to press select right now, it would just open because I've already downloaded it onto the service. But essentially, if I click this, if I don't have it, a big yellow button pops up. It says download. It takes about 10 seconds. And then once you're done, you can open it. Then you enter your email and your password that's associated with your account when you signed up. So when you sign up for the service, you need an email. So that's pretty much the main requirement for EZVideo is you need an active email address. And once you sign up, we'll send you a message that says create a password. I'd recommend writing it down somewhere. So when you log in, you'll be able to just bring up TV just like we just did, and you're all set.